News, breaking news, the LIV Tour just sent out their drug testing schedule for the upcoming season. I wonder how many players are actually going to be able to show. No, I think you actually have to use, like, if you don't test positive for something, you're out. You're out of the LIV Tour, out completely. I mean, I guess I could maybe a breathalyzer. I could pass that positively. I don't know. Welcome back to the Birdies and Bourbon Show. Cal and Dan here. We're going to chat a little bit about the announcement that finally came from the LIV Tour. Dan, what I can tell you, just my perception alone, I think there's a lot of people that knew a lot of things were kind of coming down the pike here. Before and we'll talk a little bit about some quarterbacks that are playing golf in Vegas. You know what I bet it is right now in Vegas? Hot as hell. I mean, couldn't they have planned that a little better?
I think so.
So let's talk about the LIV Tour, Dan. What do you think, man? Are you surprised?
I am very surprised with old Dusty because, he came out earlier this year, I think it was February, saying that he was 100% committed to the PGA Tour and, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. And then to see him as the face. And, so many people have been saying for the last month or two, Greg says there's some bombshells in there. You're not going to see this coming. And I think he wasn't lying. I think, there's a lot of diverse opinions on, is this a good field? Are you surprised? And et cetera, et cetera. And there's a lot of surprises here, in my opinion. What about you?
How much game does DJ have left in him?
Well, you have to define game first.
How much golf? How much quality golf does Dustin have left in him? Because, and the reason I asked the question, and I'm trying to get over to his stats, but I mean, I could say for those of you that don't know, that he announced that he's going to be playing in the first LIV golf tournament event. You're definitely under a rock, or maybe you just don't follow golf. Clearly you're not a golfer. I mean, I would say this year has been, I don't know, a little lackluster, right? I mean, it hadn't been horrible, but I don't know if it's just been fantastic. And I mean, if you, in the back of your mind, if you're kind of floating through, well, I'm not going to be here much longer anyway, what do I really care? And like, if you've ever watched him at a presser, trust me, that's one guy that didn't really care. He was there to play golf, and that's about it. Like, he didn't give a shit about anything else. And that's what he's going to be able to do in the LIV Golf Tour. And I mean, he's already got a win and at the Saudi International. So yeah, hey.
So was he the biggest name to you that was a surprise? There's a couple on there for me. I think he's probably was the biggest. I didn't see this coming. I mean, he played the RBC Heritage this year, so obviously that relationship was kind of been on and off. Like, I saw a picture at the Saudi International where he wasn't wearing the RBC patch, and then he was at the Genesis. So there's been kind of an on again, off again kind of thing there. I imagine they kind of knew about this behind the scenes. I don't think this was a shock to them yesterday, even though they did have a quick statement saying, hey, best of luck to you. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, that kind of thing. But is this the biggest shock to you, or are there other ones on there?
Well, so this is the biggest, but there's a couple. But yeah, I mean, I think this took me most by surprise. So again, based on statements that we saw from him or heard from him earlier in the season. And I mean, what are you going to say, right? I mean, you're not going to make the bonehead Phil move and come out blasting. So I get that part. So, but I don't know, Rickie, at the PGA, or was it last week? Either way, a couple of weeks ago, within the past 2 weeks, I mean, they questioned Rickie about it pretty hard. And Rickie was like, if I were a betting man, especially now seeing what's happening, what DJ just did, Rickie's gone, man. I think put a fork in him. I don't know if I don't know if they're going to get him an orange uniform. I think they call that jumpsuits here in the States. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be wild to see who goes. So he was a surprise. And by the way, there was a statement released by the PGA Tour, and that statement was, and this is in quotes, members who violate the tournament regulations are subject to disciplinary action. It goes on to say, this is not a quote, but the golfers were told on May the 10th that regulations barred them from participating in the Saudis Golf League's event. So, from that, yeah, I think it's pretty aggressive. Another article that I'm reading from The Athletic. Let's see. Royal Bank of Canada became the first sponsor. I allegedly, because I don't know that that's true, but it says the RBC was the first sponsor to public. Oh, okay. Here you go. Here's the caveat. The first sponsor to publicly pull its support from LIV golf participants. There is one transportation company that is no longer adorned by two European golfers, and I guess one South African and one European. They're not toting around the shield anymore, and that's been gone for a minute too. So, and I think both of those guys have been pretty. I think everybody knew that Westwood and Oosthuizen were probably going to wind up there. I don't think that's going to be a shocker to anybody. I'll tell you the one that really caught me off guard, and I'll pass it back, is Taylor Gooch.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, I get it. I'm not confused as to why someone makes the decision, but it just goes to show, I mean, these guys are doing this for a job. And to quote I can't say late great. I have to say, to quote Kevin Kisner, right? This ain't no hobby, and they're not doing it for that reason. So yeah, I don't know. What about you?
Yeah. So I am assuming these agents had to go to these sponsors ahead of time and say that this was their intent. And that's what happened before the PGA. You saw at the PGA, both Louis O and Westwood were not wearing the shield of the brown truck. So I imagine they went to that company through their agency or whatever, and they said, "Yep, and we're go ahead and pull it. We're done." Same thing happened with RBC now. I think we'll probably see more sponsors. So in that regard, Phil's a little ahead of the game. So a little ahead of the game there. He's already got rid of all his sponsors.
He's already got rid of his sponsors. Well, except coffee
and
for
he
wellness.
sold some books.
Hey, coffee for he did sell some books. I bet
Talk about a visionary.
I know. Look at this guy go. Yeah, coffee for wellness. They must be. I'm waiting on some inventory for some closeout specials on coffee. I may be stocking up, but the jumping man is still there. Maybe people just don't recognize who he is.
So I second your opinion. I think Taylor Gooch is a very interesting one. Didn't see that one coming. He was on his way to being a superstar on the PGA Tour. We played him about every week in a DFS lineup, and we were picking him for one and done. I mean, he was on the way to becoming a Sam Burns kind of guy or a Scotty Scheffler kind of guy. And I mean, obviously you got to win more to do that, but he had the game, and he was going to make a lot of money on tour. So it just goes to show you that it's interesting that these guys are, like you said, they're out there to make money, but he saw bigger paychecks over there. So that's interesting. Another angle that I think we should talk about, this is just the beginning. They asked Rory about it today. They said, "What did you think about the field?" And he was like, "Look kind of weak," or something along those lines, right? And well, they're not playing the short game here. You got to think this is like a China long game kind of thing. They're trying to win the decade, right? So this is just the beginning. And a couple names on there that are interesting. Gooch was one. DJ's the face. So Andy Ogletree was on there. Amateur of the year.
Yep.
Hasn't really gotten off first base, if you will, on the PGA Tour. Been kind of injured and everything else, but he thought, hey, this is his best foot forward. Probably go over there and make millions this year. Chase Koepka. I would have to say, here comes our first conspiracy theory, Cal, that how old is Brooks? 32-ish, 33-ish?
Yeah, early 30s, yeah.
So do you think Brooks got a signing bonus for Chase, and they said, okay, Brooks, you can have 5 more years on the PGA Tour, and then you come over here and let your brother play right now?
Well, what's going to be real interesting is, and we've heard it time and time again, Brooks Koepka only shows up to play the majors.
It's true.
Guess what they don't have on the LIV Tour? They don't have any majors. I guess I could make them up, but they're not the majors that count. So now we're going to get into the history books, right? So is it really about the label, or is it really about the paycheck? And I don't foresee Brooks Koepka watching Chase Koepka's bank account continue to grow
Mm,
and suck on the LIV tour in the whatever it is, a 64 people field.
yeah,
And Koepka's over here scrambling to make cuts and not getting paid. That ain't gonna last, man. That ain't gonna last.
I know, but let's go in the other direction. And this is from speculation, from hearsay of us talking to some of these tournament, directors and whatnot. Chase Koepka doesn't get invited to a lot of PGA events unless Brooks has got something on the line for it. I think this is the exact same thing.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, no. I think it's a total draw to get Brooks on the LIV tour.
Yeah, yeah. So you get in 5 years by 37, by 37 to 38. We'll let Chase play right now for 5 years, and then you're signing on the dotted line right now. You're coming over at 37, 38, 40, whatever it is. You got to come over here. Again, they're playing the decade game here, but I think Brooks is in the bag on this thing.
I do too. I think he's got to go faster than that. I don't think it's going to be so. Here's what I think is going to be interesting. So this is the timing of this whole thing is kind of wild, right? You've got the Memorial this weekend, and then we've got what do we got in 2 weeks? We got the U.S. Open, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you got folks are going to play. They're going to have a week off potentially, and then you got U.S. Open week. So I think that after the U.S. Open. So what would that be, like the week before the 4th of July? That is, and I think there's a timing thing, man. I think there's a timing that like the week before the 4th of July, you're going to see an exodus of players that are going to show up there. I mean, again, I mean, when you kind of look through the names and the people that moved over, it's to say has-beens, I don't know that that's necessarily fair, but so you got DJ, Sergio, obviously a major winner, Kevin Na, not Louis O, Poulter, he outside of the Ryder Cup, what's he really done? Hudson Swafford, surprised to see his name on there. But once again, I mean, he went from an injury exemption to to a win. And
yeah, he just won on tour this year, and he's going to do this. It just goes to show
just got his. I mean, he had an exemption, right? And I mean, he was in jeopardy of losing his card. And when we had him on the show, if it wouldn't have been for COVID, he probably would have lost his card, even though he did have an injury exempt. But then he had the win. So so now he's good to go. And so I don't know, Lee Westwood, Lee was on a heater a year or two ago, at the beginning of the season, but he kind of petered out at the, getting older. Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting again with in some of the players. Graham McDowell's another one. So I think that the interesting part about this, so as I understand, it's going to be a team event. So you're going to have a pod of players, right? And they're going to wear uniforms, mind you. I mean, somebody's going like, son of a bitch. If I get that damn Fowler kid, if I got to wear an orange jumpsuit around the golf course all day, I don't know. Maybe they look better in orange than they think they do.
So DJ plays well in the uniform. We saw that at the Ryder Cup. He didn't lose a damn match. So he works as instructed.
What's the stairs situation over there? Are there more like single level houses, or like more multi-level, split level? What's the housing situation like?
I don't know. But think about this. So Brooks is likely on his way over because of Chase. But in the meantime, instead of Brooks Bryson, we get DJ Kevin Na conspiracies. And then they get to fight it out over there.
Oh man, this is going to be too. I mean, I'm like, so if we're going to do this, I think it's like, I think you gotta. I mean, we need to drink. We need to drink while we're playing. Smoke a little J while you're out there. I mean, if you're gonna say no holds barred, I mean, let these guys go and have fun. Whatever. I don't blame them. I say go get the money. Who gives a shit?
I can't wait till they have the first press conference with DJ. Hey DJ, did the name say it all for you? The LIV Tour. Yep.
Living it up. I say go get the money. I don't
All
blame
right.
the guys.
So what is
Hold on,
the
hold on.
numbers like? It's like, okay, you first. Go ahead. Yep. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Um, do you think the whole Phil debacle, do you think it's
Mm,
really warped his mind? I mean, do you think he's like it's got him so sideways that because there's nothing, I mean, we don't know. He hadn't texted us, but there's no rumors about Phil not being healthy, not being able. I mean, do you think he's sitting there going like, boy, I really fucked that up. I should not have handled that the way that I handled it. And it's like really in his head. Or I mean, do you think he's like that so embarrassed that because I mean, most of the time, I mean, when you're talking with once you've made it there, I mean, you're so narcissistic that the whole embarrassment, you don't know what embarrassment is anymore. Did you see Johnny Depp, for crying out loud, playing Jack Sparrow in this court trial? I mean, that man, he has no shame. That you can't embarrass it. It doesn't exist. Doesn't exist.
so we have been all over Phil over the last 6 months with this book and the comments and everything. I think Phil knew a long time ago he was going into this tour. And that's why he was so loose with the comments and the sponsors. Of course, he's gone dark with the sponsors, right? But he was probably going to lose most of them anyway. He probably knew it. So maybe he's ahead of his time.
Coffee for wellness. Coffee for wellness
Well,
is
he owns
still
that one. He owns that one.
Jumping man's still there. Just saying.
Yeah. Something about the Saudi and hidden bombs.
Do they drink? I think it's more of a tea kind of place, isn't it?
I think it's a tea place too, but the Saudis and just Phil loves to hit bombs.
He is a bomber. He is a bomber for sure. Yeah. He's a bomber.
Yeah.
He is a bomber. Oh, the match is getting ready to start, by the way. Oh, he's got the ponytail still rocking, by the way.
Oh boy.
Ponytail stuff. I'm not done with the LIV Tour stuff yet. Hold
on. I'm not either. I got a long way to go.
I thought they were starting at 6:30. It's 6:00. Never mind. Barkley's talking. That's what it is. Yeah. Barkley's gassing.
So let me ask you this. Apparently DJ was offered $125 million to go to this tour. That's the contract. Okay. That's I got an article right here. It's from Sports Business Journal today. That's what they're saying.
So let me just say this. Let's say, what'd you say? 150 million?
125.
125. Okay. Let's say it was half of that. Say it was half. And it was whatever, 57.5, right? And let's just say they said, hey, we're going to give you $20 million. $20 million if you'll come over here. Now the article stating that they're giving him 110. Let's say they said, hey, we're right now 20 million. Here you go in your account.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still telling you, you're stupid if you don't do that.
Well, I was talking to some people, and who's to say? I mean, obviously he's a U.S. citizen, right? But is there some side deal where the money stays in Saudi or Switzerland or something? I don't know. I mean, does he have to pay taxes and all that stuff?
Well, I don't know. Think about this. I mean, so and we don't know what how the contract reads, right? Is it 110 million up front? Is it 110? Right. Does it look more like an NFL or a basketball contract where you've got here's your guaranteed money, and then we're going to pay you for performance, and we're going to pay you for events and shows. I mean, because look at the PGA Tour. I mean, they're incentivizing golfers, right? And the Dustin Johnsons, they're incentivizing them to show up and play 15 events, right? I mean, that's kind of hey, you're going to get a kicker. I don't know, what was it, like 40 grand or some shit? I mean, that's a long way for $110 million. And they're playing 9 events over there. So, I think that I think I can look at it and say the PGA Tour is doing it in a very, and this is not a political show, but I'm going to make this statement. They're doing it in a very democratic way. Or let me break. They're doing it in a very socialistic way where, the 1%ers make a lot of money, and those are the elite of the elite that are going to go out and win and win the tournament, and they're rewarding that. And, everybody's getting a little cut of the pie, man. And they're getting a big shit. Everybody's getting their own pie. You don't got to take a piece. We'll just give you the whole damn thing. So I don't know that it's going to work. I mean, there's clearly they've got money to burn. Pun intended.
Well, I mean, everybody picks on DJ for being a little bit not as aggressive with his personality and comments, but maybe the guy's an economist, and maybe he looked at what's going on and oil's going to 140 a barrel. He's like, I'm gonna get behind these guys for a while.
What do you? Yeah,
economist. What am I thinking? Economist.
Noted.
Economist.
Noted. Yeah, well,
this is a drinking show.
That's the way he would have said it. It is. It's a drinking. It's a golf show about drinking. It's a drinking show about golf. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Poof. Yeah, this is like it really did. That one blew my mind. But they did pull the rug out from under me on this one. I would not have, if you'd have said, hey, pick 5 players that you think are going, he would not have been on my list. He would not, he would have not have made my DraftKings lineup on the players that we're going to see at the LIV Tour anytime. However, at this point, it's not going to surprise me if no one's going to surprise. Well, I'll tell you who's not going. Justin Thomas is not going. And when we first started talking, the reason I said people knew what was happening. So again, the shield's gone. And then you got JT. He didn't decide to go play the Canadian Open this week. I mean, that shit's been in the works. And I think you were mentioning that you saw when he won the Saudi, when DJ won the Saudi Open, he didn't have the RBC logo on his shirt. Back last year. So, I mean, this thing was already in the works. You're not, I mean, yeah, I guess you could hash some shit out like that, but JT's rebuilding his image, if you will. And he is also rebuilding his stable of sponsors. And I'm sure that he is extremely happy that Dustin Johnson has moved on and opened up a spot for him at RBC.
That's the next, okay. It brings me to my next point. So a couple of points. Number one, my understanding is there's like 5 or 6 more spots that are open for this London thing that haven't been filled yet. And the rumor is they're going to be filled by the Asian Tour, or people just haven't put their name out there yet that they're going to play. So you got speculation. They
put their name out. They put their
name. No, like they didn't want it announced yet, right? So you got people that are playing this week. Right. Yeah. So it could be Phil, like a Coke Rack. Who else? Justin Rose,
Fowler.
I mean,
DeChambeau. Who's in the field? Yeah.
So when you talk about JT Sam being in the catbird seat, if you will, think about this. 2 thoughts. One, I think the PGA Tour is in some serious shit here, and I think that
absolutely
this has got more legs than if you hear somebody out there that works for the PGA Tour or works for media for the PGA Tour and they're dissing this thing. I think behind the scenes, they're like, holy cow, this is actually happening and it's about to get really, really nasty. Number one. Number 2, somebody like JT or Rory probably licking their lips because a lot of players are going to go play over there and the field is going to get soft on the PGA Tour.
The field. Well, I think it's going to get soft for a period of time. I think there's going to be some new talent that kind of works their way in, and they got to, that cut their teeth a little bit, and then, then they'll come too. But I totally agree. And I do think that I wouldn't go as far as to say the PGA Tour is in jeopardy of not being the PGA Tour. However, think about all the fans that the PGA Tour gained over the past 2 years.
Yep.
Right. And just, being the first sport to come back from the pandemic, and people that were like, I've never watched a friggin' game of golf on TV in my life. It's so boring, but it was the only sport on for, several weeks. So, I would say there are people watching it, and they had some color, right? I mean, they had, they were doing the little chit chat, the Wednesday matches, and they were kind of cutting up and going on because they weren't doing the pro-ams. But no, I think the PGA Tour quickly has to figure out we're going to have to stop giving so much money to, and I hate to say it, but there's plenty. I think that there's plenty of money to go around, but I think they're going to have to figure out a way is how do we invest that money in our players versus investing in the communities that we go to. And I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying somehow, some way, they're going to have to. I think they can probably still do it. It's going to rely on sponsorships to dish out a lot more money. I don't know what the sponsorship side looks like over there. I mean, look at Tiger Woods and what he's made off of his sponsorship deals, right? I mean, a hell of a lot more than he's made playing golf. So is that same environment going to exist on the LIV Tour? I mean, maybe. It's a global sport. Lots of global brands already sponsoring people, on the PGA Tour. So, I don't know that it's going to be like a bad thing.
And here's the thing about the LIV Tour is getting this. They keep, even the PGA Tour has been doing this since the beginning of this chat, and they keep calling it the LIV Tour sponsored by Saudi, or the Saudi. They keep putting that Saudi thing out there. It's kind of like their way of doing this tag with it to make it have a negative connotation, negative name behind it or whatever.
Well, the LIV Tour is not doing that anymore. Like it's strictly the LIV Tour. Like,
no,
I don't
I'm just saying
any...
the PGA Tour, Tour,
sure.
when they talk about it, it always includes that in it, right?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, what people don't realize is this thing is not all being played in Saudi. They're going to London first, right? They're coming to Vegas later this year, I think. I mean,
they're going to Oregon. I think in the second tournament, like in Oregon or somewhere, they're playing in the US. So I mean, you're going to get to go and see the same golfer play on the LIV Tour that you would have had a chance to see play on the PGA Tour.
Yes. So it's I'm telling you, this is going to be very interesting. I don't know how long it's going to take for the LIV Tour to develop a field. I give it 5 years. Within 5 years, I think that they could potentially have a field that's just as competitive or more competitive than the PGA Tour.
For 100%, because what's going to happen is they're going to start. So the Willie Z's, the Colin Morikawas, the who else is out there? The Gooches that already jumped ship. Don't want to have the Homas. Who the Sunjays? Adam Scott.
Xander.
He's a goner. I don't think anybody cares, but
Xander.
Who else? Yeah, Mito. I mean, all these kids that are coming out of school, right? I mean, it's like, hey, I can go grind it out over here on the Corn Ferry Tour, and make. I don't know what the Corn Ferry Tour, what the highest earnings were of a Corn Ferry Tour last year. I'm sure we could look it up, but it ain't nowhere. I would expect it's not in the millions. I mean, we had Dynamite on the show, right? And he was talking about staking your boy Doc. And
well, the old thing about the Corn Ferry Tour is, what the difference between a Corn Ferry Tour player and win, or what's the difference between a Corn Ferry Tour and a pizza?
I guess you don't have pizza.
You can feed your family on a pizza.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, think about Tony Finau, right? He had a guy that, and I don't know I don't know if they closed that out or not, but Finau, no, but I'm saying, but Finau had a guy that staked him, right? And Finau was supposed to give him X amount of his winnings and all that shit. Yep. And I mean, the lawsuit said, I have no idea. I'm not an attorney. I don't even try to be one. But I mean, the lawsuit says that Finau didn't live up to his end of the bargain. So the guy sued him. Now, who knows where and how? And I'm sure there's lots of fine print that somebody didn't read or overread. But yeah, I mean, people like Finau's gone. I mean,
Schauffele. I mean, so anybody that doesn't have this growing up as a kid wanting to beat Jack or Tiger's records, they're really going to consider it. So you got people like Rory and Rahm and those guys, JT. I don't see them going anywhere. But if they don't care about those records, they're gone.
Well, Tiger will give JT 110 million not to go.
Yeah, but he's not going anywhere. He's got that legacy, and he loves all that. But these other guys that don't want to chase those records and don't have that kind of admiration, that Rory type of admiration for the tour, I see them as being very vulnerable. And I use the term "gone." Okay, that's speculative and all that kind of thing. But I see this money coming their way, and it's going to be hard to pass up.
Well, like
especially this is just the beginning.
Just the beginning. And so like Spieth is not going. Well, he's not going because he still wants to win the PGA Championship to hit the career Grand Slam. And I think I'm sure he wouldn't, well, he probably did turn down, a lot of millions of dollars I would expect. Yeah, it's just amazing to me that you're throwing out. I say that, but and then you think about like football and baseball contracts and basketball contracts, and that's what this really is more in line with, right? I mean, and if you want to talk about golfers as athletes, and people can laugh and joke and say that they're not. I mean, they're definitely more athletic today. Not me, but a professional golfer, generally speaking, one that's competitive, is more athletic today than they were, 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And yeah, I think why wouldn't you want to get paid just like the four quarterbacks that are competing in the match today? I would think that in 1 year they probably make more than 95% of PGA Tours making a career. I think they're all Super Bowl champions, but yeah.
If Andy, they've been in Super Bowl, yeah. If Andy Ogletree and Chase Koepka go on this tour, or Taylor Gooch is probably the best example. He goes out there and makes $10 million this year. You don't think it's going to turn some heads?
I mean, you'd be. I mean, I hate to say it, but you'd be stupid not to go, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you're traveling anyway. So yeah, well, here's the one thing you got to consider. So I think it's 9 events, right? Is that what it is? The initial? Yeah, I'm saying initially it's going to be 9 events. And I think they're fairly spaced out. I don't think it's like a every week kind of gig, right? I think you've got some space in between them, because you're going to have a lot of international travel to and from. And so, what's and we both traveled international our fair share. And once you get there, you're fine. But most of the time when we're going, we're relaxing and it's kind of easy. And we're not, there may be a schedule, but it's not like hey, I'm showing up to make a living. But I mean, the thing is, you don't even have to win. You don't even have to win the friggin' tournament to get paid. So nope. I don't see any way, shape, form around. I don't know how anybody says no to this.
Between this, you got the European tour, whatever they're calling it now. I forget what they're calling it now, but you got that. You got majors. I mean, there's plenty of places to play if you want to fill your calendar out from the 9 events, All right. So how long until, 15, 20 years before we do like a Ryder Cup style thing between the PGA Tour and the new LIV Tour? Ooh, what's it going to be called? What's it going to be called?
It's going to be called, I got so many names that that are running through my head that I probably can't say. I think it's
the race to EV Tour.
That could be a thing. It could be I don't know. I'll go with whatever you're going. I can't say anything that I'm thinking. So.
That would be interesting to see if in some time we have some kind of Ryder Cup thing between the PGA Tour and the LIV Tour.
I think it's called like World War III or something, right? It's called Desert Storm 2 or 3 or 4. Operation oh shit, watch out. I don't know, but yeah, this is it's going to be. I mean, are you going to, so it could be at different hours of the night. It's going to be interesting to see. I guess it's going to stream, right? Because I don't think any US station is going to pick it up and pull it out. So it's going to be on like Facebook Live or Instagram Live. I mean, how are we going to watch this?
Well, I think in the beginning, it's going to stream on something like that, right? But over time, if it gets to be a good enough field, I'm sorry to say, if people want to watch it, somebody's going to put it out there, And
if people want to watch it, people are going to want to advertise on it. I'll assure you that people are going to want to advertise on it. I mean, is DraftKings going to take hold here? Is DraftKings going to say, yeah, absolutely? I mean, of course, we'll give people a chance to lose more money to make more money. I mean,
DraftKings,
why wouldn't they?
Yep. I could see something like that. Somebody in Vegas I could see doing it, like the Caesars or the Wynn or whatever sports books out there. Yeah, I could see them getting in on the thing and doing some kind of streaming thing. Yeah, a lot of places, man. Yeah.
So
Could be a
here's where
I don't know.
yeah, but you're gonna have to I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I don't know if that's gonna go very well, a pay-per-view thing. Okay, so what's gonna happen with the majors? You've got the PGA Championship, the US Open, they're not, which are not the PGA Tour doesn't run those events.
Right.
I don't know. So I guess I don't know what the USGA. I don't know what stance they're going to take. I haven't seen anything from them yet. I think Augusta is going to do whatever the hell they want to do. Like Augusta ain't listening to no damn body. Augusta is going to make their own decisions and interpretations, and it may be. I mean, it's an invitational.
Do you think Augusta even has? Do you think they'll even make a statement, or are they just going to continue to do what they do and invite who they invite?
I think they just let it roll, man.
They do what they want to do.
It's our tournament, and we kind of do what we want to do. I think the only folks that really have any skin in the game there is the USGA. I mean, to me, I mean, I guess the PGA a little bit, but I think the USGA and kind of, and the other thing too is like, what's everybody so up in arms about? Is it truly that it's like this, that it's the Saudi league? Is it the Saudi tie that everybody is that the reason that the sponsors are dry? The sponsors aren't leaving players because of the PGA Tour. That ain't the reason they're leaving them. No way in hell that they're leaving them because of, oh, you've offended the PGA Tour. That ain't what's happening.
So we said earlier in the show that Phil, hey, maybe he was a genius and ahead of his time and he knew the sponsor was going to leave anyway. On the other hand, Phil may have shot himself in the foot with this whole thing, with the comments he made, because they were not very positive towards this group of, where the money's coming from. And maybe that's why the connotation of them being associated with it and what he did, that might be why it's kind of making them make that decision, because they associate it with Phil. In the comments he made, but I don't know exactly why all the sponsorship. No.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's because of what Phil said, but I mean, that's got to be the tie, right? I didn't see why. I mean, I saw RBC said that they were dropping the sponsorship, but I didn't see, let's see.
They said best of luck to them.
Yeah, but they just said we're no longer sponsoring Dustin. They didn't say why they weren't sponsoring him.
No. They said we've had a long relationship with him and partnership, and wish him the best of luck, that kind of thing. So,
I mean, it's obviously because of the LIV decision, but they said as a result of the decisions made by professional golfers Dustin Johnson and Graham McDowell to play the LIV Golf Invitational Series opener, RBC is terminating its sponsorship agreement with both players. RBC said in a statement, "We wish them well in their future endeavors."
Who's the other one?
Graham McDowell.
Okay.
Which, I mean, who cares? I mean, I like to watch Graham McDowell play. I mean, he's but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, Graham's doing nothing.
Well, but it does bring up a point that I saw.
Go ahead. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. So it does say RBC is a proud partner of the PGA Tour. Our partnership is anchored with two world-class golf tournaments, the RBC Heritage and the RBC Canadian Open. The PGA Tour has been clear about its intentions in accordance with its tournament regulations should a golfer choose to play in a tournament outside of the tour, including the LIV Golf Invitational Series. And this is from the Washington Post, by the way, on today, I believe. Yeah, on today at 2:00. So, okay. So they did publicly come out and say, we're not doing it. I wasn't putting the two together. I was thinking just about the sponsorship for the golfers. I wasn't thinking about the actual tournaments that they do with the PGA. So, I mean, contractually, they probably have something in their contract that says you can't go and sponsor a golfer that's outside of that's playing for a tour that we don't allow them to play on. If a player breaks the rules of the PGA, you as a PGA partner cannot support that cannot support that venture.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. So
what do you think's going to happen to caddies? Do you think if you go and caddy, so if DJ's brother goes and caddies for him, and he's only caddying 9 events this year ish, whatever the number is. I don't know. He wouldn't have caddied that much more over here. But what if somebody calls him up and says, "Hey man, I want to get you on the bag. I want to, you working this weekend, man. Hey, I'm playing the Masters, and you got your brother around the track. Hey, why don't you get on the bag?" You think they're going to let them come and play? They're coming caddy.
Depends on how stringent the PGA Tour wants to get. Yeah, I don't know.
So what do you think we're looking at here? Are we looking at a year suspension? Are we looking at lifetime bans? Are we looking at as long as you're playing over there? What would it be called? It would be like an indefinite ban from the PGA Tour, which intently means, right, you're banned as long as you're playing for the LIV Tour. But if you're not playing for them, then you can come play for me. But there's got to be more. It's got to be more aggressive than that, right? Because what's going to stop somebody from, oh, hey, I'm not playing for them anymore. I'm back over here. And then 6 months later, it's like, I think I'll go back over here.
I think if you go to play on the LIV Tour thing, I think it's kind of like Twitter kicking Trump off. They can bring him back if they want.
And Elon Musk said, hey, Tesla employees, get your ass back in the office or quit. Two choices.
That's right.
So get your ass back on tour, get back on tour or quit. That's your options. I think it's going to be exciting to see. We're really going to see how astute the PGA Tour is, because when you're waving money around like that, and it's like, hey, you can come over here and eat steak. It ain't even a good comparison. I'll give you $100 million to come over here with me, or you can sit over here and I don't know, you may not get anything. Like if you don't play good, enough, and if you just play good enough, yeah, you might get like 40 grand.
Yeah. I guess the way the Saudis are looking at it is, hey, we're paying you with your own effing money.
I'm there, man. I can't fault anybody for doing it.
All right. These are all jokes. Okay. We're not being serious. These are jokes.
I'm not joking. I'm not faulting anybody for taking I'd say, hey, just like Steve Miller said, baby, take the money and run. Mm-hmm. And you better find your ass a good hiding place, because if they come after you, you're screwed. That's all I know.
So from our bet from yesterday, we'll watch the quarterbacks today, and then maybe we'll come back later in the week and talk more about that. But we were waiting for this. It's an interesting week. I guess we have to figure out how we're going to watch it next week, huh? The LIV stuff in London.
Let me say, hold on before we go. Let me look real quick and see I'm definitely going to be on a list as soon as I type this in.
Oh boy.
How to watch the LIV Tour. Let's see what this says.
Hey, Cal, I just got an email. Your PGA credentials have been taken away.
I just popped up and it said, congratulations, you are now on the list.
You're on the list.
You're on the list. Let's see. Oh, there, yeah, her PGA credentials. Yeah, we just got inside the rope passes is what we got. The options for watching next week's Centurion Club action either at home or in person. I did hear tickets were like, I don't know, 80 or $100 or something. So it's a 54 hole. Ooh, it's a 54 holes too. I mean, think about those old farts out there that are going to be like, hold on, we don't have to play 3 days. Shit. 48 players.
You bring up a good point though. Like, you think any of those Champions Tour guys maybe get approached, like a Jimenez or anything like that? I mean, he's a big draw.
I mean, why would Miguel not go over there?
I know.
I mean, he lives in Spain anyway. So, and I know they're moving around, but I mean, it's probably a lot of that shit's a lot closer to him. So 48 players, 12 teams of 4 with shotgun starts. Oh my God. You mean it's not going to take all day? Holy shit. Think about that. Let's see. Tour, DJ, $125 million, blah, blah, blah. Sergio. Now, that's why they're having a shotgun start, because who knows how long it'll take Sergio to finish out. He's like, I don't have a clock. I mean, he's been waiting. He's been waiting for them to pull the clock for years. Okay, here you go. The good news for anyone wishing to watch the first event is that it can be assessed free of charge in 2 ways. So you can watch it on YouTube, or you can watch it on livegolf.com. So YouTube's an American, a US owned company, right?
It's owned by Google. Yeah.
Google. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Google, what? Okay. So I guess, are we going to start seeing, I don't know if I've seen Google on any shirts or hats out on the PGA Tour. I guess we're not going to see any going forward, huh? Maybe do you think we're going to see like somebody out there in like the rainbow jumpsuit for the, like the Google, how they do all the different colors? Like,
maybe that'd be funny. Oh man. So on YouTube. All right.
Yeah. YouTube Centurion. Okay. So it's, what is it? The action gets underway at 2 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on each of the 3 days on the 9th to the 11th. We'll be at Sweetens on the 11th, but I know they got a TV there. I'm sure we can make it work out. And gates open at 11 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So well, I don't know what time that is our time, but nevertheless, should be good stuff. All right, well, let's Brady shirt untucked. Did you see him make that hole in one the other day with the they had the drone fly over where he was out there playing?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Oh, he's got his Brady gear on too. He's got his a little logoed shirt on. Looks like he's making an untuck it shirt kind of thing. He's got his Jordan Spieth shoes on. First drive of the day, Tom Brady.
So you asked me what I thought about the hole in one.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to retire.
Oh.
I'm done. I'm done with golf, guys. I'm done. I'm undone. I'm undone.
Well, he's done until like, what time's the tea time tomorrow? Making a comeback.
That's what he should have said. I retired. Good stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about that either later in the week or on Monday. So yeah.
Hey, sounds good, man.
All
right. If you get a call from LIV, the answer is yes.
Oh, I know. Oh yeah, I'm all in. Yeah.
We just need a ticket. They probably need somebody to cover something, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. We can definitely do the interviews. Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking. All right. Till next time.
I've already promised them that if they let us do the interviews, we can make Dustin cry, just like Amanda did. We'll just show him the paycheck.
Oh, that's too good. That's too good. By the way, hold on. Remind me of who I was drinking last night.
Do you think that they're going to do like Happy Gilmore style? They have like the big checks for Dustin when he wins.
I think they're going to give him a big mirror. He's going to get a big mirror. He's going to get a big mirror and a big straw.
What am I supposed to remind you of? What am I supposed to remind you of?
Did you took Brady and Rodgers, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm totally going to smoke you, man. Josh Allen is so Tom Brady. He pulled his first tee shot hard right. It's laying over against the cuff. He's screwed. I didn't see Rodgers, but Mahomes just striped one down the middle, hit that little baby draw. And I think Josh Allen is like a 2 or 3 handicap. So you're definitely screwed on this one.
Yeah,
definitely screwed.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
We'll talk about it later.
All right, man.
Till next time.